Welcome to my Radio Shack. This was a recently reorganized setup here where I did a separate video earlier on when I was putting up my Fusion DR1X repeater from Yaesu. That's running really well. The only challenge I'm having right now is the reach or the coverage of the antenna. So I went and ordered a preamp. I'll do another video on that. Supposedly that device goes into my duplexers, between the duplexer and the repeater on the receive front, and increase the boost level of the recepted or received data or the voice packets. So anyways, we'll cover that when I get the product in the mail. For now, welcome to that section. Welcome to my organized chaos. But I'd like to draw your attention to this particular frame I had built a few months ago, but I haven't really made any progress with it. It's a frame I'd built for a backpack ham radio or a pedestrian radio, or I'd like to call it shack to go radio, sort of a project. But that project didn't go anywhere. Just got sucked into various things. But I think it's about time for me to pull this project up and take it to the finish line and build it step by step. What you see in that cardboard box is the Yaesu ATAS 120A that I had purchased for this project when I first built this frame. The parts for this frame were purchased on eBay many months ago. But anyways, so I'd like to take this frame out and let's get started. We'll talk soon. So here is a close-up view of the frame I built a few months back. Like I said, I got the parts from eBay, from one of the eBay sellers. I thought the price was kind of expensive when I first bought it. I thought it was probably a compulsive purchase, which on a hindsight, I could have waited. I think I paid whatever, $150 for all the parts, or $158, and some shipping on top of that. But anyways, I think it's a good product to give it a shot, and I added some additional parts to it. For example, I added the SO239 and another one here for two antennas, one for a VHF UHF, the other perhaps for a HF PSK31 operations. And this is my ATAS antenna, which I will be using most probably for my HF operation. We'll see. I'm not quite sure if this needs some additional ground plane wiring that needs to happen, so we'll figure it out together. But there are kind of these brackets. These brackets here can help. There's one on each side. They can help mount your radio, TNC or power supply or modem or whatever be it. They can be mounted onto it. At the bottom section here, that's probably a good spot for mounting batteries, and I have A few of them over there. Those are 12 volt 10 amp hour batteries each, and I can kind of combine together and see if I can get them to work. So for a 20 amp hour in parallel connection. And on the side here there's some good support beams that gonna go across the side of the frame here, and on the back there is some additional support. Now these brackets I was telling you about, those are adjustable from a width standpoint, so that's good. And the radio I'm planning on using for my pedestrian backpack or ham to go project is my handy dandy Yaesu 857D. I think this will work really well. It's got a good reception, it's got a good transmission power wattage, and I think it will work really well. And I also have installed a Bluetooth CAT device on it. That way I can control the device, the radio, through the Ham Radio Deluxe through Bluetooth without any CAT cables. I tested that earlier yesterday, I believe, and that seemed to have worked really well. So I'm going to put this to work and install that onto the frame. And for the batteries, like I said, I'll probably use these two here, and they're, like I said, 12 volt 10 amps each, and I put them in parallel for 20 amp hour coverage, and we'll go from there. Additionally, I would like to put a Cantronics TNC on board for packet level operations, such as WinLink, APRS, and PSK31, and that, along with Ham Radio Deluxe, I'm hoping this would be a good combination solution. On the other hand, also, I will be putting in one of my handsets onto the sidebar, so that I would be able to communicate through handset as well while I'm working the PSK31 or any packet related operations through the base station 857. So that's a plan. About this cable that goes into this SO239 on the side here, I'll probably be resizing it. Currently it's kind of a little too long for what I'm looking to doing here, so I'll probably cut to size and repurpose that, and do some custom crimping on this PL 259. So that's that. So I'll be doing that work on the side. This one here, this was a separate project I was working on. It's a ham radio for weather station and APRS in an ammo can with solar powered, completely self-sustained, and installing a mesh network and a few other components to go with it. I'll be using this solar panel to hook up to the frame on the side, so that when we are on the road the batteries are constantly trickle charged. I'll have to test and see how well that will perform from a consumption rate versus um, chargeability or capacity standpoint, and we'll figure that out. And I have this to this is made by Battery Minder. What it does is, it's not part of the project, but what it does is it allows me to get these batteries fully charged up before I can put them in there, and then hook up my solar panel to these through the charge controller. Currently this solar panel is charging these two batteries here in the back. But anyways, I'll be installing the solar panel, the charge controller, and the batteries for the power supply module, if you will, for this backpack. There's one other part that I forgot to pay attention to and describe. It's the backrest and a carrier for the frame, and I got this carrier frame from from a military surplus store here in the Twin Cities area many years ago, actually. And I took the bag out of it, and I want to repurpose this frame to kind of be somehow mounted on that, on the back or in the front, it depends how you look at it, and then use this to carry the Shack to Go project. So I think that should work really well. I think the frame itself has a pretty robust military grade construction, so I'm not too worried at all about whether this will take the weight or not. That's out of question. It'll take the beating, it'll take the weight and the payload, as they call it. I'm not concerned about that. The only concern I have is if this would easily mount so that, let's see, somehow excuse me, somehow like so, and be able to carry that around, perhaps doing some sort of a bracketing to the frame and whatnot. So I guess we'll figure that out together. But anyways, I thought I'd mention that. This is another part of this project. You can buy these surplus military bag frames on eBay for a fairly decent price. So anyways, we'll talk soon. Bye.